Hi, Run Your Story family. This is Allison Gilliard with Run Your Story, where every story needs to be heard. And I am so stoked to be able to introduce you guys to my friend and fellow Fresh Junkie Ambassador, Danny Huynh. He is so fun and just such a cool dude altogether. And he runs for, obviously, Fresh Junkie, but also for Ainsley's Angels. And he talks about how he got involved with that and the love he has for community. And he even shares, we've all been there where we've gotten into like that running funk and we just have to find it again, the love of running. And he shares how Ainsley's Angels did that for him. And so such a cool dude, such a big heart. He's one of the most encouraging people to know, and he's just so fun and full of life. So I cannot wait for you guys to hear his story. And I am so thankful to Fresh Junkie for allowing us to be ambassadors and to be able to share our stories and the love of running and community. And speaking of Fresh Junkie Racing, they are our podcast partners for this month. They are fueling up the run stories. They fuel up incredible running events, over 20 now that they host, and they do a phenomenal job. And just everyone from Mike and Haley and Caroline to just the whole staff. They are just absolutely incredible human beings, and they care about running, and they give so much to the community, both on the economic side, but also with giving. They do a phenomenal job with that, and definitely encourage you guys to go check them out at Fresh Junkie Racing. You can also use code RYS15. That will give you a special discount for any of Fresh Junkie Racing's. Guys, I'm going to be at the up-and-coming Battleship 12K, which is my favorite race, which is happening this week. Also Louisiana and Mississippi. Super excited. Tuscaloosa and Auburn. Those are going to be some incredible races, so definitely check them out. You can also go to runyourstory.com, check them out as well. If you want to take that running event that you love to the next level, definitely reach out to Fresh Junkie Racing and see if they can help you. They love the running community. They love to give back, and they love to be part of something. They host events. They also help out with events. They do it all. So definitely check them out, and thank you to Fresh Junkie Racing for believing in this podcast, believing in the running community, and creating the family that you've created with the Fresh Junkie Ambassadors. All right, guys, get ready, get set, and go run with my friend Danny, Fresh Junkie Ambassador.
Danny, thank you so much for doing this. I'm so excited. We actually worked an expo. Was it Mississippi Gulf Coast? Is that where we met in person?
I think on the Mississippi Gulf Coast last year for right up to the 5K.
Yeah. So we got to meet because we're both ambassadors. We have followed each other on social media, and you are incredible because you're also an Ainsley's Angel runner.
Yeah.
And you are super fat.
Yeah.
I'm really excited because how does your run story begin, my friend?
Well, let's go back from the beginning. Back in 2017, I had a friend that was very persistent in asking me to come to Run Club, and I said no every time. I was like, I'm not doing it. I kept saying no, and then we hung out, and they were like, dude, come to Run Club. And I'm like, all right, I will come to Run Club. So I go to Run Club, and I'm like, this is actually kind of fun. We got to chit chat, and we got to eat and drink beers afterwards. I was like, what drew me in was the social aspect of it. I got to meet all these people I never thought I'd meet, and I'm an extrovert, but I'm slowly growing into an introvert a little bit. But so that was great. And then you meet a few people here, you meet a few people there, and you learn things about running that you never thought you would learn, and you do things that you never thought you would do distance-wise, and you get into ultras and all these other stuff, and you're like, 2017 me would have never done this.
Oh.
Yeah.
So how did you get into Ainsley's Angels?
2 years ago, I think it was two summers ago. I see them all the time. You see them at Fresh Junkie races, and I'm like, that looks cool. Like, I want to give it a shot. So I reached out to Ryan Cardinal, who got me into it. And I was like, hey, how do I do this? I would like to try it out to see if I like it. It looks difficult. You push a grown adult, and I have no upper body strength. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't work out. I just run. I don't lift weights. I don't do any strength training. I'm probably the worst person to ask about what do I do outside of running for running. I don't even stretch. So I reached out to them, and I did this run. I think it was a River Shack 2 mile down in Gretna. And it was great. I liked it. I mean, my shoulders were sore afterwards. I was like, man, I don't know if I want to do this again. But I mean, I did. And this was also around the time where I was somewhat in a running funk. And I don't know why. And I liked running, but every time I ran, I was just like, man, it was whatever, you know? I don't know how to explain it. But then when I did with Ainsley's for the first time, and then I did it again and again, I was like, it brought the love of running back.
Oh.
And I've just been doing it ever since.
And you were so fast with it too.
They always ask you, like, what's your pace? And I tell them, like, whatever pace. And they're like, all right, well, this person likes to go fast. I was like, dang it. Like, man, maybe I should have went like 10 minutes or 11 minutes or something. And, you know, but you can't help it sometimes. You just do it. You just go.
Danny, that's amazing. Obviously, you've learned some lessons from running. What are some of those?
Well, the one that we all struggle with, don't start out too fast. You start way too fast, it's going to bite you in the butt in the end, because it happens to me all the time. Like, I've learned from that, so I don't do it anymore, but I'm still struggling how to maintain a certain speed or something to where I can finish strong, because I don't think I've ever finished strong in a race, because I'm struggling and something's acting up, either I'm cramping or, you know, I'm just tired. And my last few miles of the race is a lot slower than the rest of the race. But of course, listen to your body, whether it's like during training or during the race. Everyone has a goal time, right? And they train for it. And during a race, that's what you're trying to do. And so at some point in the race, you feel like your body's feeling kind of funky, right? But you're at the pace where you want to be to get your goal time. But at the same time, there's plenty of races out there to do to try to get it. You don't have to get right then and there. Like, if your body's telling you, like, hey, we got to chill out a little bit, then chill out. Because you can risk long-term injury.
Yeah.
It's going to suck, and you're going to be like, man, I trained for this. I was like, well, you know what? That's why there's thousands of races out there to do. We're young.
That's a great perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great perspective. Yeah. So what is your favorite thing about being a Fresh Junkie ambassador?
Honestly, meeting new people, and we're a family that no one will understand. You're over there in Alabama, right? And I'm over in Louisiana. There's people in Mississippi. We're all over, and I never thought that we would meet. Or even hasn't. I'm good friends with Helen now because of Fresh Junkie. So it's just like running in general. You meet all these people you never thought you'd be friends with, ever.
Yeah.
And it's all because of running. And Fresh Junkie's the same way. I would see Caroline and Haley at Packet Pickup all the time, and I literally see them at almost all of them, but I never talked to them. Hey, my name is this, and I'm picking up this, or I might be picking up 10 bibs. I don't know. And then now I get to know who they are, and then they're all great people. Mike's an awesome person as well. I love them. They're great people.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's one of my favorite things too about being an ambassador is this community. It's like you said, family. Like, we're just another family. So I love that.
That's it.
So what is your favorite race?
That's a tough one, because I wouldn't say I've done a lot, but I've done plenty. If I had to say a road race, Northshore has been my all-time favorite since I first ran it. Even though when I first ran it, I cramped out at 10, but it's fine. But I kept going back. The only times I missed it was 2 years ago and the year of COVID. Other than that, I ran Northshore every time I've started running, ever since I started running. I mean, I also do ultras, so if I had to pick an ultra, it would be Tunnel Hill, which is in Illinois.
Whoa.
Yeah, that was a fun one to do. And it had
that would be hilly, right?
Well, actually, it wasn't. So it was 100-miler that I did. And you go one way. So you have a starting point in the center, and you go one way 24 miles out and back, and that's like completely flat. You go the other way for 26 miles out and back, so that's 50, right? But the 26 mile, it's like a steady climb. It's not so bad. But on the way back, that's when you feel like you're like, all right, I'm going downhill, like it's great. The name of the race, Tunnel Hill, don't let it scare you. Like, there's nothing hilly about it. It's just all flat, like it's soft, packed gravel. Like, it's a great race. There's like thousands of people, hundreds of people come around it. It's fun.
Wow. Okay. Do you have a pre-race routine?
I feel like it's different every time. But if I had to say what I do, that's the same. I mean, I'll get up at least, depending on the race. If it's like a half or longer, I'd get up 3 hours prior. I'm an early person anyway, so it's probably 3 to 4 hours. And I'll get up, I have a little snack. My snack varies. It's always different. It's nothing the same. Like, like I said, like, I'm probably the worst person to come for running advice, because like I don't stick to the same thing over and over again. But I'll get up, I'll walk around, like, you know, I'll try to like wake myself out, get the jitters out. I'll go use the bathroom, make sure I do it so I don't have to do it at the race, because those lines are very long. And then I hydrate, and I'll eat a banana if I have one, if I remember to get one, which is weird to eat before a race, but whatever. But that's about it, really. Not a whole lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a post-race routine?
A big meal. Like, I'm treating myself. I love a big fat steak or like a nice greasy
Oh,
burger.
okay.
Like it's the dirtier the better, the greasier the better. Like my hand has got to be dripping on my hand. That I'll take an Epsom salt bath if I absolutely need to, or if I feel like just sitting in a tub. And I've been using the Chen's unit a lot as well, and that's really comfortable.
Mm. It sounds like a winning combination.
But don't use the Chen's unit in the bath. Okay, just don't do this.
With a juicy burger.
With the juicy version, instead of your greasy shock, I'm both fried on earth.
Okay, what is an item that you will not go running without it?
As of late, my handheld water bottle. It doesn't
Ooh, okay.
matter if it's 3 miles or 20 miles, I will have it because my mouth gets super dry really quick, especially in the cold. It gets dry. And if I don't have my water bottle, then I'll chew a gum. But mostly it's having my handheld with me.
Okay. Let's talk shoes. What do you run in?
So when I first started running, varsity actually recommended me to wear Brooks, and I did for a while, and it was iffy. So a lot of my friends at the time, they were wearing Ultras. They're zero drop shoes, wide
Mhm.
toe box, super comfortable style. I went and got those, and they were like, this isn't the shoe for you because you got flat feet. And I'm like, I just want to try it out. So I wore them, and I wore them for like 6 years, 7 years. Actually, earlier this year is when I stopped wearing them. So I wore those for 7 years, and over time, I keep thinking I just need to train better, but then I started thinking, I'm like, maybe it really is the shoe. And maybe I'm not supposed to wear it, and I've just been so hard-headed about it because they're so comfortable. So I finally made the switch, and I switched to Sauconys. And those has been great since day one. And I wish I would have done this a long time ago, but I'm hard-headed. It's hard to make changes sometimes when something feels good, even though sometimes it also doesn't feel good. So I like those so far. But I've been meaning to go back to varsity to do a little test fit to see if they have any other recommendations for other brands. That way I could have them in my arsenal and swap them out.
Yeah, yeah. What about trail shoes? What do you run in for that?
Trail shoes. Ultras also for the most part. And then also Topos. They're
Mhm.
also a wide toe box shoe. I haven't done trails in a while. This whole year has been about my race that I did a couple weeks ago. So I need to get back to it. I miss it.
For your long runs, what do you like to fuel with?
For the past few years, I've been using Spring.
Yeah, yeah.
Can't remember it. Tailwind.
Okay.
I've been doing a lot of that. And then I finally made the swap edition. I tested them out actually at my 24-hour run for my birthday, which was this packet called Water Boy. It's based on liquid IV, but it's 3 times the sodium.
Yeah.
And then I also tested out Morton gels.
Okay.
And then I did way better this year than I did last year. So with that, I'm like, I think it works since I've been using it ever since. I really haven't had any cramps. The Martin gels work like they're supposed to. You just have to get in your mind that this thing has no taste and it's grape jelly consistency. So you just got to get over that and just take it in. I can't take goo gels. I think it's nasty. And Spring over time, it just did sit well with me. And I was like, I need to figure out something. Like I tried Huma once and it was great. And then after a while, it just wasn't. So those are my tears.
Gotcha. Do you have a favorite running memory? Like when you think about this memory, you just cherish running.
So I have 2.
Okay.
This is when I pushed with Ainsley for my first half solo, and I pushed Destin. And when we finish, sometimes the rider likes to get out and walk or run to the finish. Well, he got out, and I forgot what he's diagnosed with. I don't even want to say the wrong thing, but he walks with the sticks.
Okay.
And so he's walking, and I'm walking next to him, and I'm cheering him on. And like my cousin was there because she had ran the 5K. I think that was 5. She ran the shorter distance. And she recorded, and I'm just there like pumping him up. And then she texted me the video afterwards. She was like, I don't think I've ever cried at a race before in my life, but this is very inspirational. So then I watched the video, and then I started tearing up. I was like, I just made myself cry. It was the greatest thing ever. I was like, I didn't know what I was doing. Actually, I didn't remember that until I saw the video. I was like, that's what I was doing. That was great.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that was a good one. I was like, man, I didn't know I had that in me. The other one was, so this is also going back to Tunnel Hill. I was on my last 8 miles, and I think I was probably like 4 miles away from the finish going steadily downhill. I wasn't running. There was no running in me. I was struggling. I was doing the struggle shuffle. And then I'm walking down, right? I'm with my friend Nicole. She paced me for the last 8 miles. I'm with Nicole and I'm just walking. She's trying to keep me awake because I'm falling asleep because just a few hours prior, I fell asleep and walked in a ditch, and it was great.
Whoa.
I called myself though. I woke up mid-fall and I called myself. I felt like I was Spider-Man at the moment. So we're walking downhill and I see this figure walking up and I'm like, man, that guy's going the wrong way. Just trying to make a joke. And I thought it was just some normal hiker just walking the trails, and I see, and it's my buddy Chip. And I'm like, oh my God, it's Chip. And he finished 100-miler probably like 10 hours prior before I did. I was at hour 27 or something like that.
Mhm.
And then I see him and then he's, what's going on? I'm like, what's up, brother? And I'm like, we go and hug each other. And I literally fell into his arms. And I started crying. Like I was bawling my eyes out into his chest. And I was like, it's good to see you, dude. And you're like, yeah, you too. You're almost there. I'm like, I know, this sucks. But it's great. Yeah, he's a great guy. He's actually, I just want to give a shout out to him real quick. He's actually doing a self-run, or I don't know what do you call it, but it's for a good cause. I think it's for suicide prevention. I could be wrong. My memory sucks. But he's running Highway 1, LA 1, from Shreveport to Grand Isle at some point
Wow.
in November. Yep, to raise awareness.
Wow.
So shout out to you, Chip. You're great.
Yeah. Way to go, Chip. Do you listen to music when you run?
See, people think I'm crazy. So the first 7 years of my running life, 6 or 7, I never listened to music.
Mm-hmm.
I just run with my thoughts, and people are like, that's the last thing I want to think of. And I'm like, I get it, but that's when I do self-therapy. Like, it's to reflect back on what I did, like the past week, or what I could have done, what I should have done, or what I shouldn't have done. And maybe I can change some things around before it gets bad, whatever it is going on. And either that or I'm just listening to the birds or whatever sound, the little cars running by, beeping and cussing people out. I don't know. I'm just in the zone, like I'm tunnel vision, and I'm just listening to whatever's going on. But recently, this past summer, actually, I just started listening to music again.
Wow.
Not all the time, because sometimes I forget. But my friend Rachel, who I met back in June, she was telling me, I told her why I don't listen to music. And when I did listen to music or tried to, I would put up running playlists on whatever, and it would just play all these poppy stuff. And she was like, well, that's why you got to listen to metal. And I used to listen to metal back in high school. So then I started again. She gave me some recommendations here and there. And so I tried it out, and I was like, you know what? I can get down to this. And so every now when I do listen to music, I made myself a little playlist, and it's good. It works. So shout out to you, Rachel.
And the metal running playlist.
And the metal running playlist.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite recovery tool?
That would be the TENS unit.
Good.
I will slap that thing anywhere on the body that hurts, and I'll let it run.
So you did mention earlier that you only run. So do you have any cross-training activities that you do?
Not really. I don't. I would bike like twice a year. And I tried to get into bike. I'm still trying. I don't really put a lot of effort into it, but like with friends are like, hey, do you want to go ride? I'm like, yeah, sure, let's go for a ride. I'm cool to do like group things, but I'm still trying to get into biking. Like, I mean, it's already hard enough with the running stuff and having to make time for something else, because my passion really is running. At some point, I would like to do a triathlon. So eventually, I'm going to have to lessen my running days and add on bike days, or do both. I don't know. But like after 40 miles, my butt starts hurting. I just can't do it. I don't know if people do it.
That's why you get padded shorts.
I had padded shorts. It feels like a diaper, and they don't help.
Danny.
It's the saddle. Everybody's telling me it's a saddle. But I'm not committed enough to buy all these things for a bike yet. I have 2. They just make it like it does. Even the tires are probably...
You said in theory, but there they are whenever you're ready.
Yeah, there they are. They're in the back patio just hanging. I just got to put some air in the tire. That's fine.
Smart. Do you have a race that you're like, not my best one?
Louisiana Marathon 2022.
Oh.
It was crazy. The morning of the race, probably like 5 a.m., 5:30. It was starting to have snow flurries. And I'm like, ooh, it's about to get cold. I mean, it stopped with the flurries, but it still was cold. So it was 7 o'clock start, and I'm bad when it comes to training, right? I don't think I've ever trained properly until this past summer where I got hurt. So I couldn't really train until my race call. We'll talk about that after. But so I'm running and I'm looking at like a 3:45 going. I'm feeling good. I get to mile 16, and that's when everything just went downhill.
Oh.
Like my calves started cramping, my quads started cramping, and that was before I became well, I'm not a smart runner, but that was before I became a quote unquote smart runner and to take gels because I didn't take anything. I just took whatever water they had on the course. So I didn't
No.
have anything
Oh,
on me. Oh yeah, like I was pretty much running naked, no fuel.
man.
So it sucked. And so not only was I cramping, but I still had 8 miles to go, and it was freezing cold. And all I had on was a singlet, arm sleeves, and some shorts. And there was headwind on the last 6 miles, so it
Oh,
was
yeah. Oh,
freezing.
yeah.
It was
But
bad.
you got it. You crossed the finish
Yeah, I
line.
got it. I wasn't gonna quit. I was like, I'm just gonna have to walk and shiver my way there.
So have you done it since then, Louisiana?
I'm trying to think, actually. Well, I was supposed to push the full last year solo, but I came up with a cold and I wasn't comfortable pushing a full by myself because if I start to feel like crap, then we're gonna slow down, and then my rider's probably gonna be like, "All right, I'm going, like I'm ready
Do you?
to go." So I bumped down to the half. That way, we're not out there that long, like at most 2 hours. And I wasn't pushing solo. So that was the last time I did it last year. And I think I'm doing
Okay.
it again this year, but I think I'm just doing the halves.
There's no just.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
There's no just, Nanny.
You're right. Lost already.
So what advice would you give to somebody that wants to start running or walking?
Well, first, you got to find the right shoe for you. Like, even for walking,
Mhm.
like, there's some shoes out there that hurts people when they walk.
Mhm.
So the shoes that you're running, you might not be able to walk in, and the shoes you walk in, you might not be able to run in. And
Mm.
after you get started with that, clothing too, honestly, like some people can only run in certain type of clothing.
Mhm.
Like when I started running, I was in Nike shoes and Nike clothes, and I was all Nike'd out. And then I realized this is not great. So that's when I started searching up stuff, best shoes or clothes for beginners or whatever, and started looking into other brands and whatnot. And yeah, and always stay hydrated too, because there's a lot of
Mhm.
people that will probably not hydrate properly. I mean, I probably don't even hydrate properly, honestly. But I mean, I'm trying.
You're doing great, Danny. You're doing great.
So yeah, thanks.
Is there something that you tell yourself when you want to give up? Like when it was such a bad race in Louisiana, what is something that you told yourself to where you wouldn't give up?
So this is from a movie. I don't know if you ever saw Hacksaw Ridge or heard of it.
It's that movie.
Yeah, so you know the part where he's
Yeah.
on the ridge and he's lowering down one of his guys and he's
Yes.
tired, he's beat up, he's probably been shot a few times, and he just tells himself just one more. That's what I tell myself, just one more, that's it. Even if I have 10 miles left, I'll do like just one more, it's fine.
Mhm.
So that's just how I keep going.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. Absolutely. What are your goals, my friend?
At some point, get a 3:30 marathon and under 24-hour 100 miler
Wow. And do a triathlon.
and do a triathlon. Well, that's like way, way back there right now. Do the running stuff first, and then, when I get bored of running, maybe I can try that, but I don't know when I'm gonna do that. It's gonna be a while.
Do you have any upcoming marathons that you're shooting for?
No, actually, I haven't signed up, and I have some that I thought of next year, like some of my friends brought up. I had a friend that brought up Philadelphia. I entered the lottery for Chicago. There was another one that some friends mentioned. Those two, and I think I'm trying to go back to ultras next year because I miss it. I didn't do it for a whole year, and I'm having withdrawals from it. But eventually, at some point, I want to get my goal time for a marathon because this summer was supposed to be it, and I was feeling good. And then I tweaked my back. Apparently, I pinched my sciatica, and I was pretty much on the 8 to 10 week taper until race day. But I was still able to finish at a good time, and I PR by 2 minutes.
Wow.
You know,
While being injured. Wow.
well, recovering.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did not expect to get that. So that was great.
Mm.
So I
Wow,
can only
that's-
imagine what these legs will let me do if I was 100%.
Absolutely. What's your favorite length to run, whether it's a race day or it's a training run?
A half.
Oh.
A half, yeah. Even you race day or training, I don't know, 13 miles is like the sweet spot.
Mm.
13. Well, for training, 14 or 15, 13 to 15 miles for training, it's not so bad. But for race day, a half is just perfect. You feel good and you don't at the same time, but you're done. You know what I mean? You don't have to be out there for another 2-3 hours. But which is also funny to say that because my favorite distance for an ultra is a 50K. So that's more than a marathon. And I'm out there for at least 5 to 7 hours, if not longer. So I don't know. It's weird. I'm a weird person. It's fine.
Well, I do say though, but you're in the woods. There's more to look at. The distractions are different versus on a road, which,
Exactly.
like you have cars coming or you're running with people, but sometimes you're like, oh, guess what's coming up? Another tree. Whereas in the woods, you're like, okay, I have to watch where my foot lands. I have
That's
to
right.
watch. So time would go by a little bit differently. We'll say
Yeah.
differently. Yeah. Okay.
Watch out for
When you
animals
are,
and stuff.
that's,
Stepped on a snake
that's right.
once.
No, I'm done. Nope. Mm-mm. When you are running, what fuels you? What are you passionate about?
I don't know exactly what fuels me, but I mean, other than other people's accomplishment, like when other people ask me, what do I need to do? I help them out and whatnot. And I mean, running with the Angels makes me feel great. Like their smile when they finish or when I'm having conversations with them during the run. It's great.
No, I love that.
Yeah.
Any final words of wisdom, my friend?
Run often, run long, but never outrun your joy running.
Oh, that's so good.
Practice that
Oh,
in the mirror every night.
say that again, my friend. That is so good.
All right. Run often, run long, but never outrun your joy for running.
That's good. Danny, I cannot wait to see you at other Fresh Junkie races in person because, like you said, we're family. So
That's
it is.
right.
And let me tell you this, for people that don't know you, they should know you because you are such an encouraging spirit. And you just, first of all, I look at your training stuff and I'm like, daggum, Danny, like, but at the same time, like you really are a cheerleader for others. And so thank you for being that.
Oh yeah,
Thank you
no,
for
of
being,
course. I have people in my life that I met through running that have encouraged me, inspired me, and the only thing that I can do is to return the favor to others if they're having bad days. Give them some words to keep them going. You're good. This is just training. You're fine. Come race day, you're gonna kill it, or inspire them somehow, some way. That's the best I can do.
that is amazing. Thank you, Danny, so much.
Oh yeah.
Isn't Danny just the coolest? Just so fun and just such a heart that he has for running and again for Ainsley's Angels and for Fresh Junkie Racing. Like he absolutely loves running and community and he's such a fast dude. And again, such an encouraging spirit that he gives to all of us. So thank you, Danny, for sharing your story, for being my friend and for being a fellow Fresh Junkie ambassador. And again, I'm just so grateful that Fresh Junkie Racing put this together to where we could meet people from all over. And to be able to do that has been such a cool journey and it's been so fun. And to be part of that is just an incredible story of its own. So thank you to Mike and the staff from Fresh Junkie for creating community and for what you're doing and all the incredible races, especially Battleship 12K. Absolutely love it. And I'm super excited for Tuscaloosa, Louisiana, Mississippi. Guys, it's going to be so fun. So definitely check them out at Fresh Junkie Racing. You can also go to runnerstory.com. There's also a link to Fresh Junkie as well. And you can use code RYS15 to give you a discount. Go check them out. You're going to absolutely love what they do and their racing events. And like I said, if you want to take your running event to the next level, definitely check them out. You will not be disappointed about having them on your side. So Fresh Junkie Racing, absolutely incredible. Thank you guys so much for what you do. And thank you so much to our Patreon supporters. You guys are amazing. You believe in the running community, you believe in Run Your Story, and you've made all of this possible. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this story and making this continue on for season 3. It's been so cool. So this is our second episode of season 3, and that is all possible because of our Patreon supporters. So thank you very, very much. And to Gilliard Tech Services, thank you so much for all that you do, Gray, for updating our website. Now it's on a secure web base. I don't really understand any of it, but he worked tirelessly to make sure that you guys can check us out and not be hacked. So that's our goal for the future. So thank you to Gilliard Tech Services for editing our podcast and also for loving the running community so well and for updating our website. He put out some great statistics for us to celebrate season 2, and so grateful for him. He's such a numbers guy, and we love what Gray does. So thank you from Gilliard Tech Services. Definitely check him out as well for all of your website needs. He is the go-to. And for all of our listeners who have made all of this possible for us to enter into a season 3, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Like, it is such an honor to share your stories. It's such an honor to be a part of this. And it's such an honor to partner with companies like Fresh Junkie Racing. They believe in the running community. Again, they put on incredible events that have purpose and meaning, and they care about the running community and what we do. And that we're not just runners, but we're running with purpose. And so I'm absolutely incredible and forever indebted to them and what they've created in my life. And I'm so thankful for being a part of Fresh Junkie. And again, it's allowed us to meet different people, and I would have never known Danny any other way. And so thank you, Danny, for sharing your story, for being my friend, and for just being who you are as a runner. Just absolutely incredible. Until next time, guys, go run your story, because every story needs to be heard.